Hi, I'm Angela. I'm going to be responding to Kristen Hank's video. Her point of view was pro-environmental protection, whereas mine was pro-development over environmental protection. And I want to start off by sharing some of her points, and then, the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to share one of her points, and then I'm going to have a rebuttal for it. Here we go. So in one part of her video, she had a quote, I think it was at the very beginning, and she said there shouldn't be a price tag on a better future, which would include clean air, clean water, and reversing climate change. And although this is true, it is a utopian idealism, which this is based on, because at this point in human existence, we kind of are where we are, and we have to think realistically and with the development of economics internationally and within our borders. The ideas and theories of economics would be off-weighted, imbalanced if we started putting more towards a environmental program rather than towards something else, because of just how economics works now, and would cause detriment to a certain sector while the environmental area grows. And at another point in her video, she talked about some costs to the U.S., which I think she said that the U.S. economy pays $240 billion per year in response to climate change. And yeah, that's a great number, a huge number, but the military operations overseas alone are $6 trillion just alone. And bad heart conditions cost $555 billion a year alone. And so climate change is less of a concerning problem expense-wise. So that part of the debate really doesn't matter so much to a government, or especially the U.S., because we have bigger things to worry about, like protecting our homeland and fighting heart condition. And another thing was that Kristen said a lot that things shouldn't be the way they are. And although I agree that I think everybody would agree that things really shouldn't be the way they are, shouldn't is an ethical word in this context. And so we have to face reality of where we are and the things that we've done, and kind of try to take steps towards a better future from there, rather than thinking, oh, they shouldn't be that way, they should be this way, because then we start to fall into the idea that we can fix things through our ideas rather than what things really are. And then she also went in to talk about how fracking in Oklahoma, as an example, is a problem to look at, because cost of gas is dropped, but the quality of drinking water for families is also dropped. And what I would say to that is that, because she said that it was 30 years ago that, the trade-off of having clean or cheaper gas is not worth having dirty water for families to drink. But as I said in my debate where I was pro-development, it comes down to humans wanting to trade off their comforts for helping the environment, and whether we are actually willing to do that. So giving up things like transportation is the only way that gas would become less of an issue, or just other things like comfort-wise, like phones and things like that, entertainment, traveling all over the world and things like that people want to do. Are people willing to give those up for a better future for the environment? And is it them wanting to have a place on for humans on Earth later, or is it actually a full concern for the Earth's health? So it kind of comes into like human selfishness and ethics type thing. She also went in to say, and I'm quoting it, that 30 years ago it might have been easier and cheaper to fix climate change, but with each passing day it gets more and more expensive. And I just wanted to say that 30 years ago we weren't nearly as knowledgeable as we are today, and we had much less ideas for solutions. And even at that time, 30 years ago, that people still thought that Richard Nixon brought climate change, like created climate change with his administration to distract from the corrupt government that he was running. And so people still at that time wouldn't have been able to help, or wouldn't have been willing to do anything to help, because they still thought it was just a ridiculous thing going on around in the media to try and distract from the bad things that were going on within the White House. And she also mentioned a Harvard article that talked about fighting climate change cost versus not letting climate change happen in the first place. And like I said, it would be really great not to have climate change. All of us can agree to that. It would be very beneficial for all of us. But we have to face reality once again. And climate change is already happening, so we can't really prevent or reverse it fully. I would argue that we can't reverse it at all. We just have to try and stop it, and stop it where it's at. And we can't really reverse or prevent it in idea or in theory without advances in science, which cost money because the studies need to be funded, things like that. So economic development is a big part because of needing to fund the research that goes into saving the Earth. So I really enjoyed Kristen's video. I actually, if I wasn't in this debate and taking on the anti-side of environmental protection over developmental support, I would 100% agree with her. I think that the environment is an incredibly sensitive entity that we have no business messing with. But in honor of the debate, it is important to know that we are where we are, and the things that we have to do require balance between economics and environmental concerns. So thank you so much.